Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, honored veterans, as Master of the San Dimas Lodge, number 428, I stand before you tonight with immense pride and gratitude as we gather together to celebrate the 249th birthday of the United States Marine Corps. This is also our 4th annual USMC benefit dinner, and it's getting bigger and bigger. As we begin tonight's festivities, it's essential that we remember the spirit of unity, service, and camaraderie that brings us together. Our gathering tonight represents the very best of our community, where different community organizations like the Rotary, Masonic Lodges, Women's Club, Armed Services YMCA, San Dimas Heroes, and others unite for a common cause, supporting our Marines and sailors and their families. Tonight's program is packed with moments of inspiration, recognition, and service, all dedicated to honoring our military veterans and those who serve our nation. We have the privilege of hosting esteemed dignitaries, organizations, and individuals who embody the principles of service and selflessness. So as we embark on this memorable evening, let us celebrate not only the rich traditions of the Marine Corps, but also the enduring bonds of community and the power of collective action. I extend my warmest welcome to all of you and express my heartfelt appreciation for your presence here tonight. I now take great pride in introducing our Master of Ceremonies for this evening, Raymond E. Foster. Worshipful Brother Foster is a past master of this San Dimas Masonic Lodge, the current officer's coach of the lodge, the immediate past president of the Rotary Club of San Dimas, the current president of the San Dimas Rotary Foundation, and the vice chair of the San Dimas Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors.
Thank you. If I could have Tino Cordova join me on stage, please. There he is. I didn't see him out there. Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather here tonight to celebrate the 249th birthday of the United States Marine Corps, let us pause for a moment of reflection and gratitude. We begin this evening's festivities with an invocation, seeking blessings for our Marines and their families and all those who serve our great nation. The invocation will be delivered tonight by Tino Cordova, pastor of the United Church of Christ in Diamond Bar. Please rise and remain standing for the Star-Spangled Banner afterwards.
Good evening. Thank you. It is an honor to be invited here. I am a veteran of the United States Army. I am a long-line person of long-serving individuals who served in the Army. My father in World War II in Korea, and I'm also a Gold Star brother. And so it is a great honor, and I stand here tonight as an ordained minister on behalf of my brother, Chris, who died in Vietnam. Let us pray. Heavenly Creator of many names, we gather today in gratitude and respect to honor the brave men and women of the Marine Corps. Their courage and selflessness have protected our freedoms and ensured our peace. Even today, they and their families continue to serve their nation and communities around the world. We celebrate today and eat this meal in peace and safety because of their service. We ask for your blessings upon these Marines and their families and those who have served. For once a Marine, always a Marine. May they feel appreciated for the sacrifices they have made. Surround them, Holy One, with your love and comfort, and provide them with strength, peace, and courage. And may they know the love of this nation appreciates them. In your many names we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam? stripes and bright stars, through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Evening. Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather tonight in the spirit of service, unity, and camaraderie, as Rotarians, we live by a motto, service above self, a commitment that drives us to make a positive impact in our communities and around the world. In the Masonic tradition, we embrace principles of charity, fraternity, and moral uprightness. These two noble organizations share a common thread of selflessness and a dedication to making the world a better place. Tonight, as we celebrate the 249th birthday of the United States Marine Corps and come together for our 4th annual benefit dinner, we have the honor of hosting a number of esteemed dignitaries who embody these principles. Their presence serves as a testament to the power of collaboration and the boundless potential when community organizations unite for a common cause. Let us begin this evening by welcoming and extending our gratitude to our distinguished guests who have joined us in this noble endeavor to support our Marines, their families, and our community. First, would California State Senator Susan Rubio please rise? We are honored to have Senator Rubio with us this evening as the representative for California's 22nd Senate District. Senator Rubio has dedicated her career to public service and advocacy, previously serving as a public school teacher and as an elected official in Baldwin Park for over 13 years. She is the first Latina chair of the State Senate Insurance Commission and a strong proponent of legislation addressing domestic violence. Our senator will be honoring our Gold Star families later in the program for their incredible sacrifices. Please join me in welcoming Senator Rubio. Would Mayor Emmett Badar please rise? Mayor. Mayor Badar was elected to the City Council in 2007 and re-elected in all subsequent elections. Badar represents the City of San Dimas as a delegate to the California League of Cities and the California Contract Cities Association. Emmett and his wife Pam have lived in San Dimas since 1985. He is the father of Robert, Brianna, and Janelle. He's a retired detective supervisor, having served law enforcement for 35 years. Moreover, our mayor is a United States Marine. Please join me in welcoming the mayor of our hometown. Will Councilmember Eric Narcano please rise? Eric was born in and raised in San... Okay, let's give him a round, start him off that way. He was born and raised in San Dimas, and he embodies the spirit of our community. He's grown up engaged in local activities, from learning to swim at our San Dimas Recreation Center to serving in our Boy Scouts. After earning his degrees at George Washington University and Duke, Eric built an impressive career advising leaders in both public and private sectors on critical issues such as education and talent retention. In 2022, Councilman Nakano was elected to the San Dimas City Council. He is passionate about improving our downtown, enhancing public safety, and fostering community unity. Please join me in welcoming Councilman Nakano. Two elected members of the Bonita Unified School District are also present this evening. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing till both of you have been recognized, and please hold your applause till they're both up. First, it's my pleasure to introduce Greg Pilato. In addition to being the Vice President of Bonita Unified School District of Education, he is the Master of San Dimas Lodge and a member of the Satellite Rotary Club of Military Family Support. It's also my pleasure to introduce Derek Bomanu. Derek, in addition to being a member of the Bonita Unified Board of Education, is our senior warden-elect here at San Dimas Masonic Lodge and a member of the Rotary Club of San Dimas. Please join me in welcoming them. This evening, we're fortunate to have in attendance with us members of the Diamond Bar City Council. Please stand when I call your name and remain standing until all have been recognized. Please hold your applause until all have been recognized. First, we have Mayor Pro Tem Chai Yu Teng, that's all right. Yay! First elected Diamond Bar City Council in 2002 and serving as Mayor Pro Tem since December 2023. He brings over 30 years of medical experience to his role. He holds a doctorate degree in chemistry from Cornell and a doctor of medicine from the University of Miami. He operates a clinic in the City of Industry, and he's the co-founder of the Central Health Plan of California. He has dedicated himself to serving older adults in Southern California. A committed community member, Teng and his wife Teresa actively support local initiatives, including health fairs, fundraising for high schools, while patronizing economic development, public safety as part of their council duties. Andrew Chow, City Council member, City of Diamond Bar. Andrew was elected to the Diamond Bar City Council in November of 2018. He has recently completed his first term as mayor. Mayor. Originally from Taiwan and raised in Hacienda Heights, Andrew began his career as a financial planner after graduating from the University of California, Irvine. He later established his own financial advisory firm in Diamond Bar. In addition to his city council duties, he chairs the League of Cities of California, the LA County Division. He's a passionate advocate for local youth. Andrew actively volunteers with the Kiwanis and engages with students on important community issues. He is also involved with the UC Irvine, where he has founded the Los Angeles Alumni Chapter and teaches courses in certified financial planning. Please welcome these community leaders. Among our elected officials are members of the Walnut Valley Water District. When your name is called, please stand and remain standing until both have been recognized. Please hold your applause until both have been introduced. Teresa Lee was sworn in as a director of the Walnut Valley Water Board in January of 2016. She currently holds the position of board president. Ms. Lee also serves as a commissioner of the Puente Basin Water Agency and is actively involved as a delegate for the ACWA Region 8. Showcasing her commitment to effective water management, she has a bachelor's degree in biology from the University of Southern California, runs a customer brokerage company, and is the member of several professional associations. Edwin Hilden, director. Did Edwin make it this evening? Thank you for coming, Teresa. I'm sorry that Edwin made it, but I don't think we could have seated him if he had showed up. So, let's see, other government officials. Commissioner Wayne Schmidt, City of Pomona. Commissioner Schmidt is a distinguished leader and dedicated public servant as a master mason at Bunting Charity Lodge 727 in New York and the immediate past master of San Dimas Masonic Lodge 428. Wayne embodies the values of community service and brotherhood. His impressive law enforcement career includes serving as an assistant inspector general for the city of New York and an interim assistant special agent in charge with the DEA administration in Los Angeles, where he dedicated over 2 decades to public service. He served as a commissioner on the Pomona Police Oversight Commission and currently serves the city of Pomona as an ethics commissioner. Please welcome him to dinner. We also have with us Anthony Marino. Would you please rise, Anthony? Anthony, it's my pleasure to introduce Anthony Marino, District Representative, Office of State Senator Susan Rubio. One of my favorite district reps to work with. Thank you for being here with us this evening. A Rotary Club is a community organization with a noble purpose to bring together individuals from diverse backgrounds who share a commitment to service both locally and globally. These dedicated members, known as Rotarians, work collaboratively to address pressing societal challenges. They promote goodwill and advance positive change. Through various service projects, Rotary aim to make a meaningful impact in such areas as education, healthcare, clean water access, hunger relief, and disaster response. We have with us tonight Dominic Torres, Chair of the Satellite Rotary Club of Military Family Support. Dominic, would you please stand? Don't sit. Dominic is a founding member of the Satellite Rotary Club of Military Family Support. That club focuses on food insecurity among junior enlisted families, 22,000 active duty families, 213,000 National Guard reservists, and 1.2 million veterans receive federal food assistance. To date, Dominic's club has supported food pantries on Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center 29 Palms, Camp Pendleton, and Fort Irwin, 3 military bases, and he has delivered over 27 tons of food and supplies and more than $20,000 in financial support. He is a United States Marine combat veteran, the founder of High Point Brew Co., the past chairman of the San Dimas Chamber of Commerce. Please join me in thanking him and welcoming him tonight. Would any other present or past president of Rotary Club please stand and be recognized? Excellent. The Grand Lodge of Masons in California was established in 1850 and serves as the governing body for Freemasonry within the state. Located in San Francisco, this historic institution plays a pivotal role in overseeing the more than 300 Masonic lodges and chapters throughout California. It upholds the principles of Freemasonry, which include promoting moral and ethical values, community service, and personal development. The Grand Lodge fosters a sense of unity and camaraderie among Masons while supporting charitable endeavors and maintaining Masonic traditions. With a rich history and commitment to its core values, the Grand Lodge of Masons in California continues to be a cornerstone of the Masonic community in the state. I'm going to call the names of the following Grand Lodge officers. If you please stand until all have been called. Please hold your applause until they've all been recognized. One of the most special members of this group will be called later as he will be introduce our keynote speaker. But first, Worshipful Steve Miller, Grand Organist, the Grand Lodge of California. Worshipful Alfonso Sanchez, Inspector, 723rd Masonic District. Jack Rose, past Grand Lecturer, Grand Lodge of California. Worshipful Robert Seacrest, past Inspector, 729th Masonic District. Please thank them for their service. The title Master in a Masonic Lodge refers to the Worshipful Master, who is the highest ranking officer and the leader of the lodge. In ancient times, the word worshipful meant respected, because when a master is elected by the members to lead them, he is given the title of worshipful master, indicating that he's a respected master mason and retains the title even after leaving his office. The worshipful master is responsible for presiding over lodge meetings, ensuring the lodge activities are conducted in accordance with Masonic rituals, traditions, and regulations. Boy, I'm glad I'm near the end of this because I'm getting tired. Would Worshipful Greg Pilato, San Dimas Masonic Lodge Master, please stand and be recognized? Would any other masters or past masters also please stand and be recognized? A women's club is a community-based organization typically composed of women from diverse backgrounds and interests who come together to engage in various social, cultural, educational, and philanthropic activities. These clubs serve as platforms for women to connect, share experiences, and work collaboratively on projects that benefit their communities. Whether focused on promoting arts and culture, supporting local charities, advocating for social causes, or providing educational opportunities, women's clubs empower their members to make a positive impact and foster meaningful relationships while addressing the needs of their communities. As I call your name, please remain standing until all have been recognized. Please hold your applause until all have been called. Angie Valenzuela, for President of the Hacienda Heights Women's Club. Bonnie Duenas, Roland Heights Women's Club. Suzanne Farmer, President, Oakview Women's Club. Pat Borchard, President, Foothill District Women's Club. Rhonda Brewster, President, Rancho Cucamonga Women's Club. And Pat Huffman, President, Federated East Valley Women's Club. Please join me in thanking them for joining us this evening. The title of Gold Star Family is reserved for those who've lost a military member in the line of duty. It serves as a poignant tribute to the service of members of a service member's ultimate sacrifice and acknowledges the profound grief and ongoing healing of the family. Although the United States is not currently engaged in a conflict as all-encompassing as World War II, the number of living Gold Star families has grown substantially, more than one might assume. According to Military Times, since the tragic events of 9/11, over 16,000 service members have lost their lives in non-combat situations, with an additional 7,000 making the ultimate sacrifice in Iraq and Afghanistan wars alone. Furthermore, there are thousands of living Gold Star family members who endure the loss of a loved one in conflicts ranging from World War I and II to Korea, Vietnam, and other conflicts throughout the 20th and 21st centuries. We have a couple of leaders from those groups. First, I'd like to introduce Linda Lambert, President of the Southern California Department of Gold Star Mothers. And Evelyn Baltiera, the first Vice President of the Inland Empire chapter of American Gold Star Mothers. Thank you, please. Our chaplain, Tino, Pastor Florentino Tino Cordova, 11th of 12 children from a small village in Mosquero, rural eastern New Mexico, has dedicated his life to serving others, especially veterans and their families. After proudly serving in the United States Army as an infantry soldier from 1986 to 1990, Reverend Tino has pursued an impressive educational journey, earning a certificate in information processing from Idaho State University, a BA in religious studies from Edgewood, culminating in a Master's of Divinity from the Pacific School of Religion. His commitment to veterans began early in his career as he served as an office manager for the Department of Veterans Affairs Veterans Center, providing essential counseling to combat veterans. After his ordination in 2013, he continued to advocate for the community, empowering them with his ministry, including roles in California and Maui. Please join me in thanking our chaplain for this evening, Florentino Cordova. Allow me to introduce the Stars and Stripes Ministry at Holy Name, a dedicated group with a profound mission. Their purpose is to provide unwavering support to the courageous individuals who have served or have served our military. This ministry plays a vital role in the extensive network of community organizations in San Dimas. They become my very good friends. Combating food insecurity among military families. Would all of you please stand and be recognized from Holy Name of Mary? Thank you. Okay, we're here for the Making Spirits Bright Committee. This year, they are going to impact the lives of 150 Marine and Navy families at Camp Pendleton. I would like to Camp Pendleton and 29 Palms. I'd like to introduce them. As I call your name, please stand and hold your applause. So we've got them all standing. First, Barbara Armstrong, Rachel Kirk, Teresa Lee, Jen Melke, Sonia Reed, the committee chair, Diana Zhao, and Jenny Prince. They're the reasons we're here this evening, folks. Thank you for being here. Okay, our last group to introduce. As I call your branch of the service, please stand and remain standing. Please hold your applause so we've got all the veterans up. First, I call all Army veterans and active duty soldiers to stand and be recognized. There you go. Come on out here. First lieutenant there. I call on all Navy veterans and active duty sailors to stand and be recognized. I call on all Air Force and active duty airmen to stand and be recognized. I call on all Coast Guard veterans, active duty Coast Guardsmen to stand and be recognized. Coast Guard. Coast Guard. Hey, you guys are going to see a unicorn again. I call on all Marine Corps veterans and active duty Marines to stand and be recognized. Please thank our veterans. Please be seated. Okay, so tonight dinner is going to be served by members of the Foothill chapter of the Order of DeMolay. DeMolay is a youth organization for young men aged 12 to 21 that focuses on developing leadership skills, character, and community service through a structured program of activities and mentorships. By the way, all senior DeMolay stand for me, please. These are men who were DeMolay at one time. I know there's a couple out there. all senior DeMolay. These men here are all pillars of our community. We're DeMolay. Please be seated. Founded in 1919, DeMolay promotes values such as loyalty, respect, responsibility, providing a supportive environment where members can forge lasting friendships while engaging in philanthropic endeavors. Tonight, they'll be serving us. You'll notice there are tip jars on your tables. All the tips go straight to the chapter, and that's the funds they will use for their project. So dig deep, dig deep. In addition to serving dinner, they're going to stay late with me. I will change clothes, and we're going to wash every dish, every cup, and every fork. So dig deep. All right, so get ready to be swept off your feet as we welcome the Lindy sisters to our mealtime performance. This dynamic trio consisting of Lana, Lynette, Laura Lee has captured the hearts and audiences with their mesmerizing harmonies and enchanting 1940s swing music. With their vintage charm and delightful vocal arrangements, they bring the glamour of the era to life, complete with seam stockings, and ruby-red lips. As they...
You have forgotten to recognize the commander of the Marine Corps League chosen detachment who is sitting here with me. You want to stand
Stand up. Why don't you've got the voice to introduce this lad? My apologies. Greg writes the script for me, and sometimes he makes mistakes, so I apologize.
Gonna take a sentimental journey. Gonna set my heart at ease. Gonna make a sentimental journey to renew old memories. Got my bags, I got my reservation. Spent each time I could afford. Like a child, you want anticipation. Long to hear and all aboard. 7, that's the time we leave at 7. I'll be waiting up for heaven. Round every mile the railroad track that takes me back. Never thought my heart would be so yearning. Why did I decide to roam? Gonna make a sentimental journey home. Sentimental journey home. Very, very sure of you. Don't sit out the apple tree. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. No, no, no. Don't sit under the apple tree. Anyone else but me. Till I come marching home. Don't go walking down Lover's Lane. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. No, no, no. Don't go walking down Lover's Lane. Anyone else but me. Till I come marching home. I just got word from the girl who heard from the girl next door to me. The boy shared his place next to her. It's not true. So don't sit under the apple tree. Anyone else but me. Till I come marching home. Don't sit under the apple tree. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but her. No one lives but me. No, no, no. Don't you sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. Not till you see me. Not till you see me. Oh, oh, till you see me. When you see me marching home, then we'll go arm in arm and we'll sit down under the apple tree. Baby, just you and me. When I come marching He was a big strong man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie sound that no one else could play. He was a top man at his craft. But then his number came up and he was gone in the draft. He's in the army now, a blowing reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. They made him blow a bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because he couldn't jam. He got the scene to understand. Because the next day the cat went out and drafted a band. And now the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. A to the attitude, he was a hit to the bar. In boogie rhythm, he kept blowing up unless the basic guitar playing with him. He makes the company jump when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. He was the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. And when he plays boogie woogie bugle, he was busy as a buzz bee. And when he plays, he makes the company jump into the bar. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. He goes at 8 to the bar. Now going on is the basic guitar playing with. And the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B.
I'm gonna go around. Picture.
No. The lady can go. Did she got her food? You know, everybody needs to go.
Oh, let me ask her.
Boys sing boogie every night. It makes them want to sing in the early ride. They got their hands and simply feet because they know how to play. When someone gives them a beat, it really breaks it up. When he plays reveille, he's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. Da 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 da. And the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. First in line, golden pride, as we fill the nation's might, and the army was rolling along. How long we have done fighting till the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. For it's high, high day, the army's on its way. Count on victories, loud and strong. For wherever we go, you will always know that the army goes rolling along. That the army goes rolling along. Anchors aweigh, my boys, anchors aweigh. Farewell to foreign shores, we sail at break of day. Through our last night on shore, drink to the fall. Until we meet once more, here's wishing you a happy voyage home. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we provide our young troops valor in the air, on land, and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor free. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marine. the uniform. We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in thee. Off we go into the wild and yonder, climbing high into the sky. Here they come, soon to meet our thunder. Attaboys, give her the gun. Down we dive, spouting our flame from under. Off with one terrible roar. We live and play, go down and play. Nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force.
The title of Gold Star Family, reserved for those who've lost a military member in the line of duty, serves as a poignant tribute to the service member's ultimate sacrifice and acknowledges the profound grief and ongoing healing of their family. Although the United States is not currently engaged in a conflict as all-encompassing as World War II, the number of living Gold Star families is substantial, more than one might assume. According to the Military Times article, since the tragic events of 9/11, over 16,000 service members have lost their lives in non-combat situations, with an additional 7,000 making the ultimate sacrifice in Iraq and Afghanistan wars alone. Furthermore, there are thousands of living Gold Star family members who endure the loss of loved ones in conflicts ranging from World War I to World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and various other conflicts throughout the 20th and 21st century. Tonight, we will be honoring 5 Gold Star families. You can find information about their loved ones in tonight's program. As I call the families to the stage, please hold your applause and or recognition until after our Senator's presentation. Would the families of the following service members join us on stage? Private First Class Brandon J. Armbula, United States Marine Corps. Corporal Jonathan Castro, United States Army. Master Sergeant Robert E. Conley, Jr., United States Air Force. Specialist Stephen Mobley, United States Army. Cryptological Technician, 3rd Class, Luke Yashuda, United States Navy. I now invite Senator Rubio to the microphone.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you so much. What an honor to be in the presence of all of you who served, and of course, the family members. I personally come from a military family. To the time where my uncle served, and he was actually in Hawaii when he saw many of his friends perish right in front of him. And so my brother also served 6 years overseas, uncles, cousins, and so I can only imagine. I always share that I know the sacrifice of our military service members is not a sacrifice alone, it's all the families that are left behind. I know when my mom, she worried every night, and we were not in conflict, but there's always this sense of dread that, that they may not see their family members. And so all the families here, I'm so sorry for your loss. And to all our service members, thank you so much for the privilege of just being in your presence. I know that the honor should be every single day, and we, tend to take these one-day holidays to commemorate your service, and thank you, but I know that you deserve a lot more than just one day, so thank you. Big round of applause to everyone out here that served. Thank you. Thank you so much. And as we celebrate the 249th anniversary of the Marines, I want to just say thank you all of you that have, served, sacrificed, and again, we're here just to pay tribute in honor of your service, and today I want to just take time to say to all the service family members, I've been a senator for 6 years across the San Gabriel Valley, but I've had the privilege of traveling up and down the state, and it's never easy when we hear the stories, and I've heard many stories throughout my career. So thank you. Thank you for just the service of your loved member, and thank you for enduring the sacrifice so that we could all be here gathering with this beautiful dinner in commemoration of your loved ones. So please allow me to honor your service members. Thank you so much. And this is on behalf of the California State Senate. It reads, and it's going to be for each one of you, but I'm going to start with the family of Private First Class from United States Marine Corps Brandon J. Arambula. This is for the 4th Annual San Dimas Masonic Lodge USMC Benefit Dinner on behalf of the California State Senate. I am deeply honored to present this certificate of recognition to the family of Brandon J. Arambula. Our nation is forever indebted to Brandon for his courageous sacrifice made in service to our country. His valor and selflessness shown in the defense of our freedom and liberty will never be forgotten. Thank you for the sacrifices your family has made, and know that your loved ones' contribution will always be remembered with the utmost respect and honor. Big round of applause to his family. And the same honor goes to the family of Jonathan Castro, Corporal, United States Army. Once again, on behalf of the California State Senate, I'm deeply honored to present this certificate on behalf of our state. Again, thank you for the sacrifices your family has made, and know that your loved one will never be forgotten. Thank you. Big round of applause to the family of Jonathan Castro. This honor goes to Robert E. Connolly, Jr., Master Sergeant, United States Air Force. Again, on behalf of the California State Senate, please allow me to thank you on behalf of myself, my colleagues, and the governor for the sacrifice of Robert E. Connolly, Jr. Again, our nation is forever indebted to Robert for his courageous sacrifice, and thank you. His sacrifice will never be forgotten. Thank you. Stephen Mobley, Specialist, United States Army, on behalf of the California State Senate. Once again, our state wants to thank you for the service of Stephen Mobley. Our nation is forever indebted, and once again, this sacrifice will never be forgotten. On behalf of our nation and our state, thank you so very much. Thank you so much. And this is for Luke, I hope I said correctly, Luke Ishiro Yasuda. Technician, 3rd Class, United States Navy. On behalf of the California State Senate, again, please allow me to say thank you with deep gratitude for the service of your loved one. Our nation is forever indebted to Luke for his courageous sacrifice made in service of our country. Thank you, and he will never be forgotten. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I know that we have another family here today. My apologies, we did not get the name, but please know that we also want to thank and commend you for your loved one for the sacrifice. And on behalf of the State Senate, we'll make sure that you get a recognition as well. And thank you, everyone, for allowing me this privilege to be in your presence. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Brother Graham, you will muster all active duty and veteran Marines here and assembled in a single rank at the foot of the stage facing the audience.
All active duty all Marines to the front of the stage right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, on the back of your program, you will find the words to the Marine Corps hymn. In a moment, Graham is going to designate 2 guys to bring that cake up here, and as they bring it up, we're going to sing the Marine Corps hymn. So, you ready? All right, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in singing the United States Marine Corps hymn. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battle on the land and the sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the titles of United States Marines. Brother Graham, are you in possession of the cutting implement?
Worshipful sir, I am in possession.
Brother Graham, you and your Marines will cut the cake and serve. Now, I know who the youngest is. Where is Perez? Don't go anywhere. How old are you? How old are you, son? 19, sir. 19. Oh, my. How many would like to be 19 right now? All right. Who is the oldest Marine? I believe that's Jesse James at 85. Is there anybody 85, 85? How many of you like to be 85? Oh. You may proceed to cut the cake and serve.
It is a great event.
Ha!
Good job. Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
Youngest to oldest?
Yes.
Yes. You've been doing Ranco ball, right? Not yet? Mine's on the 20th. Oh, okay. Go ahead and take a piece. And
It's a tradition for the youngest Marine to feed the oldest Marine present. Brother Graham, you and your Marines are dismissed. Ladies and gentlemen, now cake service will begin. And so while we're doing that, I'm going to introduce our keynote speaker. Colonel G. Sean Matroka, United States Marine Corps retired, enlisted in the Marine Corps in 1976. Beginning over 30 years of military service. After earning a Bachelor's of Arts in Geography in the California State University at Chico, he was commissioned as a second lieutenant and rose to the rank of colonel. His military career included commanding the 5th Battalion, 14th Marines in Seal Beach, and serving 2 combat tours in Iraq, where he planned long-range fire support and acted as the liaison to the Combined Joint Special Operations Task Force. Upon leaving active duty, Colonel Matroka worked as a systems engineer with McDonnell Douglas in Long Beach, advancing to a senior manager in finance and accounting. After some time in the healthcare business management, he joined the finance department of the Nevada County Superior Court in 2000. Following his return to Iraq in 2003, he was appointed Chief Executive Officer of the court, a role he held for 15 years before retiring in 2018 to focus on his passions, including Freemasonry. Colonel Matroka's journey began with the Paradise chapter of the Order of Demolay in 1972, where he served as chapter master counselor and was honored with a degree of Chevalier and the Legion of Honor. He has continued his involvement as an adult advisor, receiving the Cross of Honor and the Grand Master's Youth Support Award. He's a member of several Masonic organizations and currently serves as the immediate past Grand Master of Masons in California. Colonel Matroka resides in Nevada City with his wife, Margaret. They have been married for 39 years, raising 3 adult children, and enjoy 2 grandchildren. It's my extreme pleasure to represent the immediate past Grand Master of Masons in California, Colonel G. Sean Matroka.
Good evening, everybody. You know, when somebody asks you to be a keynote speaker for an event, it's always helpful when they actually tell you what they want you to talk about. And the guy who owns this Coast Guard cap, he says, oh, talk about whatever you want to talk about. And so I'm going to, and I hope it won't bore you to tears. I really appreciate your warm welcome. I am very fond of San Dimas Lodge. I was able to visit San Dimas Lodge earlier this year, and they treated me very nicely. I have some good friends here, don't I, Steve? I'm only going to speak for a few minutes, and you can applaud for that. I won't be offended. I really want to share with you my perspective on the importance of service. And I believe it has a circular nature, which I will explain to you in a minute. I'm sure most of you have heard the proverb, what goes around comes around. We usually think of that in the negative term. You do something bad and it's going to come back and bite you. Well, I also think that applies to the positive. When you do something good, it is likely good will come to you from it. And I think we need to keep that in mind. I learned the importance of service at a young age. I think Raymond shared with you that I was in the Order of DeMolay. That's really where my love of service developed. For those of you who don't know what DeMolay is, don't worry. It's a youth fraternity for boys between the ages of 12 and 21. And one of the things I learned from my participation in DeMolay in my youth was the importance of service. The reason I decided service was good is it made me feel good. Every time I did something for somebody else, I felt pretty good about myself. In fact, it helped me to overcome my feelings of inadequacy and make my worries about my normal flaws a little bit less. Every time I did something good for somebody else, I thought of myself a little bit better as a human being. Through my father's encouragement, I sought to join the U.S. military. When I was 17, I did just that. Now, from an early age, I thought I was going to join the military, and it was because when I was a kid, my dad talked so fondly about his time in the Army and how he wished he had stayed in. But by the time his fifth child was born, as a sergeant, it was kind of hard to afford to keep a family that size on a sergeant's pay, and he decided to do something else. My dad was a little taken aback when I said, I want to join the Marine Corps. I really think he thought I was a complete idiot. In fact, I'm pretty sure he told me so. He later shared with me that in the 1950s, when he enlisted in the Army, he chose the Army to avoid being drafted into the Marine Corps. I said, well, okay, Dad, to each his own. And naturally, as a know-it-all kid, I didn't bother listening to his advice. And I set off on what became about a 32-year journey in the Marine Corps. I always enjoyed serving in uniform. It felt to me as though I was doing something important, as if I had a real purpose in life. It certainly made me feel better about myself. While serving as an enlisted Marine, I particularly enjoyed participating in programs in support of the Navy Relief Society and especially Toys for Tots. I've been around a long time, not as long as some of you, but I was in the Marine Corps in the mid-70s, and back then Toys for Tots was a different program than it is now. Many of you know that this is a program that started in the Marine Corps Reserve where Marines around the holidays collect new toys, new unwrapped gifts, toys, for distribution to children whose families are a little less fortunate. Back in the 70s, we collected any toys people would give us. We collected new toys when they came around, but also used toys. And to explain to you the extent of the service involved, for those of you who don't know, Marine Corps reservists used to take those used toys to local fire departments, and the firemen would clean them, repair them, package them, give them back to us so that we could distribute them to needy boys and girls. We all understood the importance of that bit of service, and I, as a young Marine, particularly enjoyed it. When I was a young lieutenant stationed at 29 Palms, I worked for a lieutenant colonel whose sons were active in the Boy Scouts. And one day he came to me and said, you know, you're a woodworker. We could use you in Troop 77 in 29 Palms. Why don't you volunteer to be a merit badge counselor? I didn't know any different. I wasn't in Scouts when I was a kid. I was in DeMolay. I said, yeah, I'll do it, because it sounded good to me. It sounded like something useful. So I became a merit badge counselor for his son's troop, and then pretty soon I was an assistant scoutmaster. And I got married during that period, and my wife started going through scout leader training. She started understanding the joy of service. Without realizing it, I seemed to be drawn to serving anybody who would ask. Anybody who needed help seemed to need help. The opportunities for service, as we all know, are endless. In 1984, I was ordered to Okinawa, and through that tour, I first gained exposure to what life was like for people outside of the United States. I was immediately struck by how differently they lived. Not just the language and the food they ate, but their perspectives about what they should expect in life were different than ours. And without being too critical, I think that people in the United States of America, in comparison to folks outside, they have a much higher expectation of how things should be in life. Whereas in other countries, they know life is hard. And this is not universally true. I have traveled the world, and I can tell you there are a lot of people whose standard of living and expectations in life are a lot higher than ours. But I was struck that in Okinawa, they were very matter-of-fact about it, and they appreciated what they had so much more than I think most of my compatriots in the United States did at the time. But as I got to know them, I really came to understand how we were so much more alike than we were different. The things we wanted in life were the same. We wanted a safe place to live under a government that did not tyrannize us. We wanted a chance to make a decent living, to raise our children in peace and harmony, to give them opportunities that we didn't have. That's exactly the way they lived. That's what they wanted. I later, a few years later, went to South Korea, and I found it to be the same way there. And then, of course, later in my career, I had the opportunity to go to the Middle East. I was in Kuwait in 2002 after coming back from my last tour in Korea. And then when we engaged in our assault on Iraq in 2003, I went into Iraq. And you know what? I found that Iraqis, by and large, the average citizens, were very much like us. They wanted the same things in life. And they also very much enjoyed helping each other. And I was immediately drawn to that. But I saw other things in Iraq. And anybody who served in combat certainly understands where my mind is going right now. I saw things that changed me as a human being. And I'm not telling you this out of a sense of woe or to shock you, but not surprisingly, I saw evidence of what I consider to be true evil in my service over there, and it changed me. And when I came back to the United States in late 2003, I didn't really realize the impact it had had on me. When I deployed again in 2006 and came back, I was almost unrecognizable to my family. And what pulled me through was my devotion to service. I already told you I served in the military because I thought it was important. I continued to do that for the better part of half of my life. And I was lost because of that service. But when I got back, now I've been a Mason for 45 years. I joined DeMolay, as you heard, in 1972. I joined Freemasonry in 1979. I was a Marine when I joined Freemasonry, but I was a relatively innocent young man. Okay, I did say relative, didn't I? Yeah. I was certainly naive. But I joined Freemasonry because I recognized from an early age what a good institution this was and how it would make me into a better, more compassionate, more loving human being. And when I needed it most, it was there for me. My best friends were Masons. They still are. They have been almost all my life. And when I was in trouble, when I needed help, I didn't even have to ask. They were there for me. I made a lot of notes here. You can tell I'm not referring to them much, but there were a few points that I wanted to bring out, so I made notes. Just this afternoon, in case you were wondering, I'm not a very proactive person. I'll tell you how I overcame the PTSD that I was experiencing. Now, I want to set the stage for you. You may not have discerned from my biography that my 32 years of service was comprised of 10 years of active duty and 22 years in the reserves, not all at the same time. I was on active duty as a private through Lance Corporal. I was in the reserves. I got a degree, got a commission, went back to active duty, did 4 years on active duty, got out again. Then I got mobilized again, and I did that several times. At the time I went to Iraq in Kuwait in 2002, I had 3 young children at home. They knew me as a certain person. When I got back, I wasn't that person. So when I got back and finally faced up to the fact that I was struggling with something quite legitimately that was tearing my life apart, my friends stepped up to help me, first of all, recognize it and then get help for it. And in the meantime, in my effort to outrun this thing that I didn't want to acknowledge was there, I threw myself into service because that's something I knew. I figured if I just stay busy and I help other people, I'm going to feel good about myself, and I don't have to acknowledge that, whatever that is. But when you do something like that, you're out of balance. I told you I had 3 kids at home. I had a wife who hadn't run away yet. And I was kind of set on maintaining that, but I was losing them because I was never home, because I threw myself into service. And I'll tell you, all that effort to try to avoid what was looming behind me that I didn't know how to deal with, I wasn't avoiding it. It's kind of like our men and women in uniform who serve in combat and come back and become alcoholics, trying to outrun it. You can't drink it away. You can't move into the woods and have it go away. You cannot outrun it. You have to face it. It was my friends through my service who helped me to do just that. You're probably wondering why I'm telling you all this. I'll get to the point. The point is, when you do good, when you seek to help other people, that goodness all comes back around to you. Service is life. We all know life is hard. Life will always be hard. Sometimes life will be incredibly unfair. But if you look for the good in everything, life will, on the whole, be good. If you do good, life will be good to you. The more we can help one another, the more we can overlook the doom and gloom that we see in the news and on the internet and everything else, and actually look for the good in people and have faith that they will do the right thing, the better our lives will be. I'm telling you, I think service is a circle for good. I think all we do to help one another, like we're doing tonight to help our service families in Southern California, it will all come back around to us. I appreciate your attention. I certainly appreciate the invitation to come and speak with you tonight. I always enjoy my time in this lodge, and I look forward to coming back the next time. Hopefully they'll pick some other clown to speak next year. But thank you all for your attention.
It's a Masonic tradition that we make presentations, so we have two for you this evening. And first, I would invite to the microphone the Worshipful Inspector Alfonso Sanchez, United States Navy veteran.
Anchors away, brother.
For many years, a tradition was put forth way back in the Roman times. When people would come back from war, they would get a coin. It was no bigger than about that. And it showed that they were on a particular battlefield or exhibition or something. It also rained down to today, as you probably have as many coins as I do. But this one today is given to you by my district, and it has here morality, brotherhood, and love on it. From the whole district, 723, I'd like to give you this coin in commemorating your time here with us. And I think the funnest time I had was being your inspector when you were going. But this coin is for him, and it's from all of us in there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Worshipful.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As we gather this evening, it is my honor to present a heartfelt token of appreciation to our esteemed keynote speaker, Colonel G. Sean Matroka, United States Marine Corps, retired. Now, I know that you might be thinking, what could possibly be more exciting than a keynote address from our speaker, which we all loved.
Thank you.
Well, I'll show you. Pressure off, please. It is the United States Marine Corps tree ornament. So thank you. This isn't an ordinary ornament. It's a beautiful symbol of the United States Marine Corps, spirit, dedication we all share, and community service. Much like the Colonel's illustrious career, it is filled with leadership and camaraderie. This ornament represents the sacrifices by military families and the bonds we create in our community. It is provided by the Making Spirits Bright Committee, and we pass it on to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
We hope that you and your family will hang it on your tree and enjoy it.
We will. Thank you. He handed it to me right away in case it got dropped. It would be my fault.
Exactly right.
I'm going to put it in the box. Now, I didn't share this with you when I was talking, but I think you're all probably wondering whatever happened to my wife and children. They're still around. They haven't kicked me out. I think they love me too. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sonia Reed. I'm the chair of Making Spirits Bright with the Diamond Bar Women's Club and working for our enlisted military families at 29 Palms and the 29 Palm Marine Base and Camp Pendleton. Today is Santa's workshop at the E-Free Church and Diamond Bar. As you can see, we're busy wrapping gifts. We delivered to 29 Palms on December the 15th, and we handed out to families on December 17th.
to Josh to say a few words, please? Sure.
So, good afternoon. Happy holidays. Best sweater right here. So, rumors somehow gone that I only come here for the cookies. That is only partially true. So I've been here a couple years now, and Leah and Amy, thank you for your leadership, and to Sonia and to Nancy and to Rachel and everybody. And as an Army vet, I still remember well what it was like to be a young soldier away from home. I did not have kids at that time, but those who did, you could feel the loneliness, you could feel the need. And so, has anybody here ever been out to 29 Palms? Well, yeah.
It's great community together, and everyone from all walks of life coming in here and having like 20 people. Thank you.
Most of you, because I've seen some of the same faces and I know the names, and it's great to be back here. I'm the Executive Director of the Armed Services YMCA, and I'll just give you a little bit of information about 29 Palms. 29 Palms is the largest base in the country, and it is the largest Marine training base in the world. We have 12,000 Marines on the base and 1,000 Navy on the base. We have about 40% of the 13,000 military there are married with children. The average age of a Marine on the base in 29 Palms is 21. Wow.
They're taking care of about 110 families with whatever they wanted for Christmas, so it's in these bags here.
Making spirits bright. Happy holidays.
That's perfect.
Would the members of the Making Spirits Bright Committee join me on stage along with Dominic Torres, please?
All right. It's great to see everyone here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to stand up here for you tonight on behalf of the Satellite Rotary Club, our military family support. We're here not just to mark the 249th birthday of the United States Marine Corps, but also to exemplify the spirit of giving and support that unites us all. In this season of giving, where the warmth of our hearts is reflected in our actions, it's truly heartwarming to assist the efforts Making Spirits Bright Committee of the Armed Services of the YMCA in bringing joy and Christmas gifts to enlisted Marine Corps and Navy families at 29 Palm Corps Base out in Camp Pendleton. Back who wants to hold it? Yes. Coming after that, here's $5,000.
You're welcome. Thank you. You want to say something?
Yes.
Here, let me sign the back of that for you.
On behalf of the Making Spirits Bright Committee and myself, we would like to take a moment to thank the San Dimas Rotary and the Masons for putting on this incredible event, and especially for the small check. I would also recognize this evening, you may have seen him in a photo, Lee Mao and his wife Amy. Can you stand up, please? The host of the Diamond Bar Military Toy Drive, December 8th. If you have nothing to do, please come and join us. The Holiday Inn, December 8th, 1 to 4. I also would like to go ahead and thank you, our guests here this evening, each and every one of you, for your generous donations and your support to Making Spirits Pride every year. And as you can see, as we're growing, we would like to acknowledge you and thank you and for coming back and supporting us and staying with us and believing in supporting our military family. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed our event. Thank you.
Well, everyone, how about a round of applause for all the volunteers? The history of the Absent Companions Toast can be traced back to the American Civil War. During this tumultuous period, soldiers would raise their glasses in memory of fallen comrades who could not be present to join in the celebration. Over time, this practice evolved into a more formalized ritual. In the military, the toast often occurs during formal dinners, reunions, and other gatherings where service members come together. It serves as a moment of reflection and remembrance, highlighting the enduring camaraderie and the profound impact of military service on individual lives. The primary purpose of the Absent Companions Toast is to pay tribute to those who cannot be present, emphasizing the importance of their contributions and sacrifices. It serves as a reminder of the enduring bonds forged in challenging circumstances and the unbreakable connection among service members. Tonight, we will dedicate our Absent Companion Toasts to our Gold Star families. Brother Larry Graham will assist us. Ladies and gentlemen, in preparation of this toast, please charge a cup or glass with some liquid so you may participate. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise while Brother Gunnery Sergeant Larry Graham conducts our Absent Companions Toast.
As we raise our glasses in this Absent Companions Toast, let us remember all the absent comrades who have made the ultimate sacrifice and the Gold Star families who bear the weight of that loss. To my fellow comrades, Private First Class Brandon J. Armula, United States Marine Corps, Corporal Jonathan Castro, United States Army, Master Sergeant Robert E. Conley, Jr., United States Air Force, Specialist Stephen Mobley, United States Army, Cryptologic Technician, 3rd Class, Luke Ichira Yusuda, United States Navy, and to their families, we offer our deepest gratitude and heartfelt condolences. Though they are absent in body, their spirits live on in our hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, let us honor them with this toast. To absent companions, we salute you.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you. Please be seated.
There's a very long speech here. I just want to say thank you all for coming. Have a great night. I'm pleased that we were able to make this happen. I know we're stretching out. We're going to go even bigger next year. So thank you for all your support and look forward to what we could do even more next year. Take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please rise and remain standing until you are dismissed.
Let us pray. Almighty Creator, as we gather to celebrate the birth of the United States Marine Corps, we give thanks for the courage, dedication, and sacrifice of all Marines, past and present, of all of our veterans, all those who served in all the branches of our government. We ask for your blessings upon them and their families. Grant us the strength to uphold the values of honor, courage, and commitment in all that we do. May we continue to serve with integrity and pride, always ready to defend our nation and support our fellow Marines. As we conclude this celebration, we pray for your guidance and protection. Keep us united in purpose and steadfast in our mission. In your many and holy names we pray. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we bring this splendid evening to a close, may we carry with us the spirit of camaraderie, service, and gratitude that has filled this room. Let our hearts remain open to the bonds of friendship and the shared commitment to making a positive impact in our community and our nation. Please depart safely, and may you find inspiration in the collective dedication you've witnessed tonight. Good night, God bless you, and God bless the United States Marine Corps.